An animated film. I'm talking about Blinky Bill. He's now starring in his own TV series, and it's already been sold to more than 80 countries around the world. Would you please welcome the voice of Blinky Bill, Robyn Moore. Blinky Bill. Now, who invented him?
Well, Dorothy Wall invented him for her little boy in the 1930s, and the first book was published in 1933. And he was just as mischievous then as he is now.
And now he's become this enormous international star.
Yes, he's everywhere. I mean, the Japanese have taken him into their hearts, the British, the Americans, the Germans, the French. He's in 80 countries. They just love him.
And here, look at this. I mean, I was unaware of until I saw the stuff coming in today, the onslaught of material. You've got everything.
Yes, I mean, I just saw this for the first time. I want to buy the mug for my children. But everybody seems to be getting onto the bandwagon, and they just love Blinky.
Well, I know from friends who've got little kids, they say they're besotted with him. It's all Blinky Bill.
Yes. I mean, I actually talked to a few little friends on the phone and say, "Hi, it's Blinky Bill here, how are you?" And make tapes for children who are very ill, because Blinky's a lovely little fellow who can make a difference in people's lives too. So little personal tapes help too.
How did you get involved as the voice of Blinky Bill?
Well, I've been working for Yoram Gross, who does magical animation films here in Australia, and I started as Dot in the last 6 Dot movies. I wasn't in Dot and the Kangaroo, but I became Dot.
And you remember Dot, she was sort of the champion of the animals, and she did all kinds of wonderful things to save them.
And then Blinky came along, and Yoram said, "Well, I like to do Blinky." So he was born, and I was a primary school teacher, so I just based him on any of the naughty little children I taught, who are gorgeous, the spirited ones.
He really is a sort of a furry Ginger Meggs, isn't he?
He gets into a lot of trouble. He's mischievous, but he's very accountable for what happens. I mean, because nothing ever seems to go exactly as he plans. So, I mean, he gets into a real mess, and then he has to sort of pay the price.
And was teacher's Miss Magpie, is that the teacher?
Yes, Miss Magpie is his teacher, and she really can't stand Blinky because her life is a nightmare with him around.
All right, well, let's have a look at them together. Here, look at this. That's fantastic.
Ooh. You want to see something scary? Watch this. Did you ever want to be a movie star, Miss Magpie? Because you're in a film now. Well, that's it. No more movies for you. Class dismissed.
He's a little bugger, isn't he?
He is a little beat. Yeah, but I mean, as I said, the original book, he was a little devil. Now, I must say that I'm a mum and an ex-primary school teacher, and he's a cartoon character. My children just love his antics. They have not hit me with a stone yet. They're not basing their behaviour on this. And I mean, we also love the Roadrunner, and we haven't dropped anvils from big heights on people yet. Children are able to distinguish between animated characters.
I was always on Wile E. Coyote's side. I thought the Roadrunner was a terrible person. I think the things he used to do, the poor critter. Yeah. So you do a lot of voices for these?
Yes, I do all the females. So there's many, many voices.
I mean, there's Blinky Bill, who's the only male I do, and Keith Scott does all the other males. But I'm Blinky's mum, and she's saying, "Blinky, just look at your pants."
That's all she seems to be concerned about, as all the mums know. And then there's
Mrs. Rabbit. She's got about 90,000 children, and she's got great big teeth, and she's not, she's not a native, so we gave her this accent because she's introduced,
And then there's a lovely character, Granny Grunty, and we've got a shot of Granny, because in the studio, Keith Scott and I are just given one drawing done by the animators, and then we get to invent the voice. So we looked at Granny here, and I said, "There's that one, see the one teeth there right in the bottom, so she speaks like that, you see, with the tooth, and she spits everywhere, and
I noticed,
I'm sorry about that, dear."
So, and then there's another lovely character. Have a look at this next one, because we're shown the drawing, and all we've got is just to invent from there. This one is Ma Dingo. Oh, now, Ma, look at those. She's got 2 legs of lambs, on the end of her arms there.
So, I mean, she's got to have a voice that's quite big, and so she speaks like that, and she's Ma Dingo.
And we had to actually bring her back a bit for the BBC because they thought she was a little bit too
rough,
violent.
Too violent. It must be strange when you're recording the show.
Yes,
There's the two of you in a recording studio.
Yes.
Doing all these weird voices.
Yes, and it's delightful. We actually enjoy watching each other work because, I never know what Keith's going to do and he doesn't know what I'm going to do. And he'll just, latch onto something. There's a couple of political characters who've been parodied in the show.
Oh, is that right?
And, and it's just a nice little subliminal touch for parents too who are watching. So it's lovely.
Well, that's like when you see a show, an animated show like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That at one level, children are watching it, and then if you look what's going on in the background, for adults, The Simpsons is a very adult show.
It is indeed, yes. And some of the writers Yoram has used actually have put quite a lot in for parents as well. So the TV series we have out at the moment is lovely for mums and dads and kids.
It's amazing, isn't it, that 60 years on, this little piece of Australiana has become this international hit.
Yes, and I wasn't introduced to Blinky at all. I missed Blinky when I was growing up.
Well, I was Mickey Mouse, and
I was a Mouseketeer, and that was it. And my key one. And now Blinky has just hit the world, and they can't get enough of him. There's a second series just about to start.
Is it possibly because, of the characters and the scripts and things, but because he is a koala?
Yes.
That to most of foreigners, they see the koala as being, unlike John Brown, who said they piddle everywhere and they're nasty, scratchy creatures. Sorry, Blinky.
That's all right, Derryn.
But he's seen as such a perfect piece of Australiana.
He is, and it's sad to think that, people from overseas treasure Blinky and love koalas, and yet, the koalas are on the endangered list.
That's
I've
right.
actually done some work to try and save koalas and raise people's consciousness, because the slogan they used, which was most appropriate, was,
take care of we koalas or we'll all be stuffed.
and they will be. Stuffed koalas would be awesome.
Well, ironically, out of all the humour and the talents that you've got, you may actually raise people's consciousness about the real koalas, and that's wonderful.
And entertain children as well, because he gives them a laugh. He's a delightful character. He's just a joy to play.
Oh, it's
I love
great.
him.
Well, we wish you and Blinky Bill all the best. Would you please thank Robyn Moore.